what is very interesting is that...
Before I bring in Rahul Srivastav, let's take a look at these live images of Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee now getting into a vehicle. She will be traveling. This is her Volkswagen Polo car. She's being wheeled in. She's on that wheelchair. But this is the car she uses when she travels within Bengal. इंद्रजीत कुंडू रिपोर्टिंग फ्रॉम ग्राउंड जीरो।
अटकलें लगाई जा रही थी कि कितने बजे ममता बनर्जी निकलेंगी और अभी दोपहर को पूरा दिन अभी 1:15 बजा है। पूरा दिन वो घर के अंदर थी और वहां से जायजा ले रही थी, फोन पर जायजा ले रही थी किस तरह का वोटिंग हो रहा है। आप देखिए ममता बनर्जी का काफिला अभी रियापारा उनका जो किराए का घर है वहां से निकल रहा है और हम कोशिश करेंगे देखने की किस तरफ ममता बनर्जी जा रही हैं और कौन कौन से पोलिंग बूथ, कौन से पोलिंग स्टेशन है जिसका दौरा ममता बनर्जी करेंगी।
So in her Volkswagen Polo car, the one that she uses to travel when she's in Bengal, especially within or close to Kolkata, Mamata Banerjee now traveling to some polling stations in Bengal. She was on a wheelchair. It's her constituency. Let's try and listen in.
What are the reports you are getting? What are the reports you are getting, Didi? Not responding.
चलो मिला बाइक मिला।
Okay, so at least initially she has chosen not to react. There are reports of clashes between Mamata Banerjee supporters and BJP supporters at some places. There have also been reports of electronic voting machines malfunctioning. But remember, this was the complaint that Mamata Banerjee's party had made even in the first phase of polling, where they said that whatever button you press, the vote was going to the BJP. That was the message that the TMC had given out after the first phase of polling. Rahul Srivastav, make or break battle even for Mamata Banerjee at Nandigram.
Yes, Gaurav, and I think the best signal to that was Mamata Banerjee accepting the challenge and contesting from Nandigram to take on her own protege Suvendu Adhikari. Now, Gaurav, this Nandigram battle actually denotes something much bigger than a battle royale. Why I say that? Since the late 70s, when the Congress was beaten by the left, and the left took over the state for almost 34 years, and then came Mamata Banerjee, Bengal, though was ruled by the left and Trinamool had an All India Trinamool Congress label to it, Bengal had become, because of that regional pride, Bengali pride, largely a domain and bastion of regional players. And this time around, by posing a challenge, then the BJP is trying to create history in Bengal. Because if this time around Mamata Banerjee is voted out, what one can say is that yet another national party will make a presence in Bengal, and that will change the dynamics of the state forever. And that is why this battle is not just about retaining Bengal, but perhaps changing the character of the politics which has been playing out for the last nearly 45 years in West Bengal. And that is why the stakes are very high. For Narendra Modi and Amit Shah duo, this is the battle they were looking for right since they came to power in Delhi in 2014. That Look East policy was not just in terms of development, it was also to make inroads in territories where the BJP flag did not find a single pole to stand on, to fly on. And this battle now is going to be a decider not just for Bengal, but for national politics. Because if Mamata Banerjee loses, regional players and regional satraps lose out, and the BJP roadmap and footprint increases. But if the BJP loses, the kind of battle
and that's what Mamata Banerjee,
Bengal, it will have national repercussions.
Yes, and that's what Mamata Banerjee has been saying all along. In fact, in that letter that she wrote to 15 opposition leaders, 15 non-BJP opposition leaders, she has mentioned that post 2nd of May, we need to come together. She is saying that the BJP's style of functioning, the Prime Minister's style of functioning, takes away from the federalism of our country. But Bengal politics, Shubir Bhaumik, if I could come back to you. If at the 11th hour Mamata Banerjee does mention her gotra, that she's Chandilya, if she's doing the Shakti Stuti all along the Shakti part, does that indicate that between 2016, where the BJP had only 3 seats, to 2019, when the BJP in Lok Sabha managed to get 18 or 42 seats, politics in Bengal has also taken a hard right turn, sir. And Mamata Banerjee now realizes that in 2021.
Well, Gaurav, you're right that the right is here to stay. The right which was not there at any point of time. Rahul is very correct when he says that after the exit of the Congress in 1977, Siddharth Shankar Ray, Bengal has been ruled first by the CPM, which in effect here was a regional formation, and then by Trinamool Congress, which despite the All India tag, is effectively a Bengali party, and it's a very West Bengal party. They don't even have a presence among the Bengalis in Assam or Tripura, which incidentally is a Bengali majority state. So here, there is definitely, this is the first time since 77 when a national party is trying to make a serious effort to actually come to power, to make a dent. So that's very important and significant in its own way. And therefore, the stakes are high. Mamata, this writing letters to 15 different opposition leaders, this is her style. If I can talk of military history, she's a bit like Sadasiv Rao and Vishwas Rao in the Third Battle of Panipat. When they're losing the battle, they come back charging and they may die. Or if they can break through Abdali's ranks, they will win. So, Mamata's style is like this. She goes to Nandigram, takes on the challenge and contests a single seat. Now, because the BJP has given so much importance to Bengal, she is trying to turn it on its head. And in case she wins the election, she is going to project this as some kind of a national mandate against the BJP. Though it's not true, because Bengal is just one state. But she's going to turn it into, and with this momentum of victory here, she's likely to galvanize opposition politics, which is in huge disarray across the country. So this is her style of charging back. If you lose, you lose everything. If you win, you win. But another last point quickly I will make.
That's what she intends to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, sir.
That's exactly what she has up her sleeves. This is her sort of politics of offensive defense. She is guarding her citadel. Her citadel is under real threat, real danger. This fight is not easy. It's tough. But she is trying to use it because the
It's
BJP
a very interesting point that you make, Shubir Bhaumik. Okay, Shubir Bhaumik, you are saying that her citadel is in actual danger. I want to bring in Paulami Saha, who's reporting from Ground Zero. Paulami, when we look at statistics from the 2016 elections, the Trinamool Congress had won 21 seats in 2016. Of these 30 that are currently going to poll, it had 48% vote share. 1 seat the BJP had with just 7%. 8 went to the left and others with 37% vote share. So has the BJP actually been able to make such inroads that the BJP is the principal challenger with just 7% vote in 2016 to being the main challenger in 2021, challenging Mamata Banerjee at Nandigram?
Where is Paulami?
Paulami, can you hear me? Okay. That phone line with Paulami Saha just got disconnected. She is traveling extensively. We'll come back to her in just a moment. But Rahul Srivastav, if I take that question to you, in 2016, BJP had just 1 of these 30 seats. Now the BJP is going in big. Now, when Mamata Banerjee writes a letter to all opposition parties, Rahul Srivastav, the big national picture, is she portraying herself as the rallying point for all opposition post the 2nd of May?
Yes, Gaurav. See, Mr. Bhaumik was mentioning that point. You see, what Mamata Banerjee has done this time around, that yes, definitely there is a strong challenge. But what she is trying to do is minimize the dents that the BJP can do and building and consolidating on her strengths. Now, you had asked a question which I think didn't get completed. The question about why Mamata Banerjee is suddenly raising the Gotra issue and writing these letters. See, Mamata Banerjee is advised by somebody of the kind of political advisors like Prashant Kishore. Now, in Prashant Kishore's book of political tricks, measures of optics are very high on note. And if you recall the 2014 campaign by Narendra Modi, it had very similar shades. So the wheelchair, the Gotra, all these elements are being thrown in. By building on these letters, she's actually preparing for a future. But why is Chandelier? Gaurav, there is a very interesting theory. I have spoken to a lot of people that in Nandigram, the 31% vote is of the minorities. Now, why should suddenly she come out with her Chandelier Brahmin Gotra comment while she might be trying to consolidate her minority vote? Now, what people are saying that given the kind of rise that the BJP has witnessed over the last few years, somewhere there is a sense of wariness among the minority community. So Mamata Banerjee today, by taking on the BJP, perhaps even propping up the BJP, had raised the spectre of BJP coming to power among the minorities, and she's more confident about minorities only voting for her to vote the BJP out. And that is why, by mentioning the Chandelier Brahmin element, she's trying to consolidate her support base among the Hindu voters, majority voters in Nandigram, which might drift away to Suvendu, her protege, or the BJP. Now, that's what is the kind of minute thinking which is going into the Nandigram and the Bengal election. Otherwise, if you see the phase, as you said, the BJP last time around has 7 times lesser seats votes than the Trinamool Congress, had 20 less seats than the Trinamool contest. The contest compared to last time around was totally skewed. But the BJP has been able to create a spectre of a challenge, and that's where lies the key, that it has tried to polarize the campaign. If you see Suvendu Adhikari, he never mentions Mamata Banerjee, he calls her Begum. Now, Begum has its own connotation, and that perhaps indicates the kind of campaign which has gone into Bengal, especially Nandigram.
Okay, but is, Shubir Bhaumik, is Mamata Banerjee, yesterday BJP leaders were saying that Mamata Banerjee is scared, she's given up, she's defeated, and that is why she says she's of the Chandelier growth. But as Rahul Srivastava points out, is the story completely different? She's actually supremely confident of the 30% versus in that 30% versus 70%, as Suvendu Adhikari says. She's confident of the 30% minority votes, and now she's playing big with the Chandelier Gotra and the Chandipath for the 70% Hindu votes, and that is why it's a win-win for her. That's her game plan. That's her masterstroke, as the TMC puts it, Shubir Bhaumik.
Now, I think I will go with that for the very simple reason that she knows, and Suvendu actually made the huge mistake. I have a friend there who teaches history. She's a Muslim lady, and she told me we would have supported Suvendu because of our, ties. But he has made this election very communal, and therefore he cannot expect any vote from us. Nandigram Gaurav has this secular tradition of political battle. On 8th August 1942, people tried to raise the Indian flag there, and the British police fired, and 8 people died. 3 of them were Muslims. The leader of that agitation was Sheikh Alauddin. Subsequently, when people fought with Suvendu and Mamata Banerjee, people like Abu Sufyan or Abu Tahir, who have had warrants on them recently, they are alleging political harassment by the BJP and by Suvendu. But then the point is that here people did not fight as Hindus and Muslims. They fought on an ideological basis. Hamara zameen nahi denge, and that kind of thing. They are saying, someone like Professor Ruxano is saying, that why did Dada turn this into a communal thing? Just because he has joined the BJP, he does not have to say these kind of things in Bengal, where these kind of religious binary does not automatically work. This is not Uttar Pradesh. Now, that's a mistake Suvendu has made, I think, in my opinion, and therefore has gifted away 30% of the vote to Mamata straight away. So he has to now play this.
Gentlemen, stay with me. mistake or masterstroke, we will know on the 2nd of May. It's a hard-fought battle, and it's a battle where both sides aren't willing to cede an inch to the other side, and that is why complaints, counter-complaints being made by both sides. We'll come back to this story and lots more that's happening in Assam on the other side of